I just wanted to focus the conversation for a moment on a topic that I think we all spend a lot of time thinking about, which is pipeline. You write a lot in your book about pipeline and about, there's an interesting slide, which I don't know if we can put it up, where we're actually we're looking at how much time sales organizations spend talking about pipeline, correlating to the amount of revenue growth that they have. But there are valuable types of conversations around pipeline, as you talk about, and then there are less valuable conversations about pipeline. Can you sort of talk about how this activities-based approach that you are focused on plays out in terms of discussions between reps and their managers around the pipeline?
Sure. So the pipeline is a big deal. It's a big deal in organizations. We just completed a research study with the Sales Management Association, which is a great organization, and check it out. And it was really around pipeline management practices. Now, if you think about how important the sales pipeline is in most sales forces, it's pretty important. So we found that in the survey we did, 72% of the organizations expected their sales managers to be meeting with their salespeople more than once a month to discuss the sales pipeline. And the average pipeline meeting lasts 53 minutes. So if you think about all the sales forces, 72% of those are asking their sales managers to meet with their reps more than once a month. Another 12%, I think, was just once a month. And they're spending 53 minutes on each of those conversations with their 12 sales reps. This is a big deal. And so what we're trying to do is kind of add some clarity to exactly what it is that people are doing and should be doing during these conversations that almost every sales force is happening. And as the chart you just had up there shows, spending more time on this in a productive manner actually does lead to improved sales performance. You can see almost a linear relationship when you look at that chart that, from less than 1 hour to 1 hour to 2 hours to 3 hours to 4 hours a month spending with your reps discussing the sales pipeline, and it does have an impact. There's something subtle here is that after you get to around 3 or 4 hours a month, it looks like the effect settles out. So, should you be spending 18 hours a month staring at the sales reports? No, probably not. Should you be spending no time looking at the pipeline? No, probably not. But there's a comfortable number there that it does make a difference that you're spending time discussing it. But I'll draw another distinction between the types of discussions that take place when people have sales pipeline meetings. The worst of the worst is when you sit there and stare at the report and basically inspect it. And there's a lot of this that goes on in sales pipeline meetings. So a salesperson sits down with a sales manager or salesperson dutifully pull out their pipeline report, and they go one by one down the list of opportunities. Is this still a real opportunity? Is this still going to close on time? Can I move the percentage from 80% to 90%? Can I move the target win date closer in so it gets into my forecast for this quarter? That type of inspection is not very valuable. What is valuable is if the sales manager sits down and says, let's just take a couple of opportunities here that we think, we have a legitimate opportunity to win, and let's dig into them very deeply. And let's make this a conversation around coaching, not inspection. And there's a very big distinction between inspecting what someone's doing and coaching someone to do it better in the future. And so, the story here is these sales pipeline meetings are the primary venue that a lot of companies have for coaching to take place. It might be the only one-on-one interaction that a sales manager has with a sales rep at all in some companies. And so, our charge is to try to improve the quality of those conversations so that 3, 4, 5 hours a month that you're spending with your sales reps reviewing the sales pipeline aren't just scrubbing data, but actually improving the likelihood that those deals are going to fall out in the win column, not the loss.